All right, we go back to Jayed Leigh-Paulse. She is hovering above the skies of KwaZulu-Natal to give us an aerial view of the damage that is caused in KwaZulu-Natal since the looting and the violence began. Very good morning to you again, Jayed Leigh. What do you see?
Well, a very good morning to you, Sam. And right now we are hovering over Queen Nandi Drive and Umgeni Road. You would know that this is where most of the looting took place, as there's several warehouses in this particular area. As you can see, some people still trying to loot and still trying to take whatever they can find. I mean, from the top here, Sam, I'm telling you, I'm seeing whole baths being left inside on the road. There are also several fridges that we've been noticing. People are also trying to clear the road. You can see some good Samaritans there sweeping the roads and trying to get the rubble out so that cars can make their way. But just giving you a clear indication of exactly how bad it is hovering above Queen Nandi Drive and Umgeni Road. Trucks have also been burnt. You can see RTT, the warehouse, was also completely gutted. Some of the trucks were also burnt. I'm just going to ask Neil if Neil the pilot can also show you that one of the game stores here in Umgeni Road were also completely gutted, as well as a warehouse, and we're showing you those visuals on your screens right now of that particular Massmart warehouse completely destroyed and torched and looted. At the bottom you can still see some people rummaging through some of the debris. Others are trying to clear the roads. We'll try and make a 360-degree turn and give you some visuals on the other side. Now, this particular warehouse is also in Queen Nandi Drive, stationed in Umgeni Road. And this is one of the biggest warehouses that we have in Durban. This one was the hardest hit. As you can see, trucks also burnt there at the bottom.
Jayed Leigh, as the Queen Nandi Drive and the Umgeni roads have been one of the most affected, especially in that part of KwaZulu-Natal. So it is totally inconceivable to even think that there are still looters and the looting still goes on as despite the deployment of South African National Defence Force members, or if at all.
That's very true, Sam. That's very true, Sam. You know, for the better part of our coverage as media houses, and not just the SABC, we haven't seen a lot of law enforcement on the ground. Last night when we were in Chatsworth, we met up with the Minister of Police, KZN, and I had an interview with him where he said that law enforcement are trying their best to do as much as possible. I also probed him on the allegations and claims that law enforcement are also looting. We've seen some videos, disturbing videos circulating and trending on social media of people capturing some of the law enforcement here in Durban and also in Gauteng trying and loot. And we heard the minister saying there that they are going to be investigating. There have been law enforcement officers arrested as well, but he said that they are going to be investigating these claims, but also saying that the law enforcement are very stretched, and they really are stretched in Durban. We do see them out and about in some areas, but most of them are not holding back. They unfortunately can't stop place. There's large crowds that gather and hit several warehouses, and there are thousands of people in their numbers compared to a small group of police officers who will be stationed on the roads. And this is what we've been seeing. In terms of the South African National Defence deployment, we have seen them also in Phoenix. We know Phoenix has been a hot spot with allegations and claims of racial tensions flaring up there, so we have seen them move into those areas. We also saw them in the Durban CBD in West Street, where several buildings were also torched. So they've also been there. In Pietermaritzburg, there's also been some deployment there, mostly to look after the national key points, that's being the legislature and the court, the high court that's situated there. But absolutely, it's absolutely crazy from the top. You know, when you're driving in the suburbs and you are witnessing this all play out, it's far worse from the air, from the skies. I can't tell you, these visuals are absolutely shocking of just the complete chaos and destruction that has been left behind by the looting.
You know, this aerial view, Jayed Leigh-Paulse, gives us a much clearer idea of the extent of damage on the ground. I mean, we've been seeing visuals, but this is what we see now is something we've never seen before. And what's even more heartbreaking is the insurance issue. I mean, it's totally inconceivable that some of the companies or the businesses that have been looted do not have insurance at all. And those that are insured, I mean, there's different packages of insurance, and some of these packages do not cover violent protests. The only thing that this only means one thing, that small businesses will have to start from scratch. With what money? Heaven knows.
That is so true, Sampiwe. You know, if you look at the province, this province contributes 16.7% towards our national GDP, and it makes it the second highest contributor to the SA economy. So with the looting and the total destruction, you can only imagine how many billions this province is going to run into. We talk about Durban, we've lost 20 billion, but just as KZN as a whole, we are still going to see the complete tally. Just looking at the import and export of this as well. KZN, the coastal belt, we yield sugarcane, we yield wood, orange, bananas, mangoes, and several other tropical fruit. And you know, Durban is one of the fastest growing urban areas in the world. Its harbour is the busiest in South Africa. Our port handles over 30 million tons of cargo with a value of more than 100 billion. So you can also imagine just the halting of that harbour here in Durban, what it's going to do to our GDP, but also to the economy and the country. We're looking at places like Richards Bay, where the coal terminal is instrumental in securing the country's position as the second largest exporter. And when we're looking at the halting of all these manufacturing companies and also the harbour, we're looking at millions of money also being lost. So yes, you're quite right there. We are an export hub, we are an import hub. The Dubai trade port, we've got the airport, the King Shah International Airport, 7.9 billion rand there, and that's 35 kilometers away from Durban. And we've seen so many roads being closed. Many people also asking me, Sampiwe, is the N3 open? Is the M4 open? And at every hour we say yes, the M4 is open, but you know, with all the looting that has happened, and now that the looting has somewhat subsided, we're seeing so many people now flocking to the stores that are open. So we are seeing a heavy traffic congestion on those roads and people unable to get to the respective places. But this is also hindering the trucks. And I must also make mention of the fact that we saw the N3, the Mboti Toll Plaza, that was closed. For 4 days we saw the traffic pile up there as 19 trucks were torched. We reported on that, and that road was also closed. So we're going to be seeing a lot of trucks also trying to move and navigate from the N3 from Mboti Plaza into Durban. You would know that that road is extremely busy. We get trucks from all over the country trying to pass through Durban as they make their way to the respective provinces such as the Eastern Cape and Gauteng. So in terms of the road closures, that has significantly also contributed to the decline of goods not being able to get to where they need to go, Sampiwe.
All right, Jayed Leigh, I'm going to have to let you go, but thank you so much for giving us that bird's eye view of the extent of the destruction, the looting in Durban.